This is the Continuum Lab. I'm Jeppe, musician, maker and your host on this visit. In today's video I will be talking about the design of the new keys for the open horn. As I mentioned in a previous video, the keys on the current prototype are a little bit less than perfect, and so in this video I will show you the new design, a little bit of the assembly process for the keys, and also try to explain how I arrived at this quite different design. But first, a short disclaimer.
The continuum has no end and no beginning. It represents the sum total of all knowledge, stretching from the unnoticeably small and to the incomprehensibly vast. So the Continuum Lab is not really a physical space at all. I think of it as a state of mind, like a mental leap of faith from the comfortable platform of the known and into the infinite ignorance, where learning is the only method of propulsion. Welcome to the Continuum Lab.
Developing and making the open horn MIDI system is both super interesting and gratifying on one hand, and also extremely frustrating sometimes. And both of these factors are essentially maximized by the same aspect of the project, which is a complete lack of constraints. The space of possible designs of a MIDI wind controller is basically infinite, and that's what I've been running my head up against for these past couple of weeks as I was working on the design of the keys. So I would have one design finished one day, I'd be really excited about it, and then I would look at it the next day and I would be super disappointed with it, I would scrap it, and then I'd start a new design, and then I would go through that cycle again the next day, and the next day, and then a few more days after that, until now finally I came up with a design that I feel is going to be very functional, quite easy to put together, and it's going to look great. So let's have a look at it. So it always comes down to essentially four things, which I'll just quickly list in order of priority. So that is usability, durability, look, and ease of assembly. So if I use the keys on the current prototype as an example, they are lacking in two of these four areas, which would be usability and ease of assembly. Let me just quickly go through that. Making these keys was a three-step process. Step number one, print the key. Step two, solder and attach the cable and the copper tape. Let's call that the electrode. Step three, cover the whole thing with epoxy. Step one is easy. The old keys were a very simple design, so just a circular piece like this has a platform at the top with an edge around it, and then right inside the edge there's a hole running through from top to bottom, which is for the cable itself. Step two is a little harder. The shape that the electrode is cut out in is a bit finicky, and it should be a tiny circle which exactly covers the top platform of the key. But then some margin is needed for the cable hole and the cable itself. Assembly is not easy, but it's important that the tape lay as flat as possible without climbing up the outer edge. This is essential for sensitivity and precision of the sensor. But then the solder itself becomes a problem, as it invariably ends up forming a small bump or raised area. This is what I described in an earlier video where I talked about the problem with sanding the keys, as I've done here. So given all of this, I opted for a smallish electrode which leaves the cable hole uncovered and stays clear of the edges. But that of course gives a lower sensitivity of the sensor, which is bad. Could I cut out the electrodes with a small tab and then solder the cable to that, leaving the main sensor area clear? Yes, I could. But it's a terrible hassle to cut out, and the copper tape is prone to breaking if you cut it too fine. So I've been there, tried that, and I've also tried a million other things that kind of work, but not really. So that's where I started out a couple of weeks back, and since then I've been iterating the design over and over again until I ended up with what I'm about to show you now. So this new design adds quite a bit of complexity, hopefully in exchange for better usability and more ease of assembly. There's also a separate design which is a completely different and somewhat experimental take on the capacitive keys for the open horn, and I'll show you that at the very end of the video. Check it out. Each key now consists of two parts. The exterior section is kind of like a hollow version of the earlier key design, with a somewhat narrower base to allow for a range of different angles at assembly time, and 4 interior tabs to support a platform. The other piece is the platform itself, and it's really just a small, flat, 3D printed piece of plastic. The side of it which prints down against the glass is of course perfectly flat and smooth, which is exactly what I need for the surface of these sensors. So I cut a piece of copper tape roughly to size and then apply it on the smooth side of the platform. Notice that I've sanded the surface of the copper tape for improved adhesion with the epoxy that I will apply later. Then I carefully and thoroughly fold all of the edges of the tape down under the platform and then solder a cable to that part of the tape. The way that the copper tape electrode is attached and soldered on this new design means that the solder does not disrupt the perfectly flat surface of the platform. Finally, I fixed the two sections together using epoxy putty and then put it aside to let it cure for a few hours. That's really important for the next step in the process, which is to apply the dielectric layer, in this case a two-part epoxy resin. But so for now, while we wait for the epoxy putty to cure, let me just quickly show you the other alternative design that I also came up with. I shaped the brass sheet like this to get this nice shape. And then I cut out the keys individually. After soldering the cable to the underside of each key, it's ready for the epoxy resin. This key design is a little bit experimental as far as I'm concerned. I feel like the exposed edges around the key might be a problem, where the other design has the edge around the platform to protect the epoxy dielectric layer. So I don't know, will the epoxy cure in an even layer? Will it maybe be thinner around the edges? Will it be durable enough in this configuration? I really don't know, but I think it looks awesome, and so I'm just going to try it out and see how it goes. So I dip the individual keys and then suspend the keys like this. So it's later, and the epoxy putty on my main keys has cured. So now we're ready to apply the resin layer. I printed these keys with this built-in support grid so that they can be suspended like this and will stay perfectly upright while the resin cures. And also the resin won't pool at their base, causing problems later on. So that's what the new key design looks like and how I put it together. I'll be back in a separate video to show you the final result and also show you how I test the sensitivity of these sensors. But the next video is not going to be about keys at all. It's going to be all about bamboo. If you remember in the last video, I made an order of a few lengths of bamboo, and that shipment has now arrived. So the next time in the Continuum lab, I will take you through the whole process of inspecting and selecting and cutting and cleaning the bamboo that goes into the open horn MIDI system. See you there.